So we have a brute force attack going on our organization network. So what's going on in this scenario is the organization that I work for. I have a virtual assistant that notifies me of a brute force attack on our organization's network. And our organization pretty much um, they are known as a tech coffee shop and serve millions of coffee lover, tech geeks, and IT specialists every day. So millions. So this is a big organization. They have different the information on this system that they use is very important because it holds recipes and things like that. So it's very important that somebody does not successfully brute force this this server. So first things first is we're gonna have to run Snort in Sniffer mode, and by running it in Sniffer mode, we're able to find out a lot more information that help us figure out how to create a rule that'll block this attack. So first things first, we're gonna open our terminal up, and we need to run Snort in Sniffer mode. So sudo snort minus dev, and it's gonna create a log file minus L and period sign. So I'll let that run for a minute. And basically what we're looking for is something called an anomaly. And that is something that deviates from what is standard. So anything that is standard, when we're thinking about like a packet, anytime we see multiple attempts to like a certain port number, it's that would be considered an anomaly because it deviates from the normal, from what is normal, what is expected, or what is standard. So first off, it's important to have like a baseline. So if you know that baseline, then you can easily detect when there's some type of anomaly. So we're just looking for anomalies in the log file. And based off of those anomalies, we're going to find information about the port, the port number that was used, and we can create our rule based on that. So while this is still running, we'll just let it run for like maybe another 30 seconds, and then we'll be able to create the rule. And a brute force attack is basically when an attacker just uses as many password attempts as possible to break into a system. So they have different tools to do brute forces, like Hydra, for example, and it just keeps. It's like trying to find a key to a house. So you're given 1,000 keys, and one of those keys is going to open it. So you just keep trying and trying until you find the correct key to the house. So brute force works in a similar way. It just uses a bunch of known passwords, and eventually it'll find it. So that's why it's important to have some type of uh, IPS, intrusion prevention system like Snort that can stop attacks, not only detect attacks and alert us when there's something going on, but also attack it when it's live like this. So I'm going to do Control C, and we're going to stop it. We let it run enough, and so we're going to do Snort exiting. We got 21,000 packets. So now we're going to go to that Snort log file, sudo minus Snort minus R to read it, and actually I need to do ls. So we get that log file. So now we can do sudo snort, and this is the log file that we literally just created. So it would be sudo snort minus R, and then we're going to specify that log file. Let me see if I can. There we go. And let's see. So we getting a lot of information, and it's actually showing us actual data. Before we were just seeing like a bunch of things, but now we actually see the actual log file. So here it is just loading. So we're going to let it load. And the first question that we're going to answer, they're going to get the CTF, the flag, when we finish, when we actually run the rule to stop the attack. So the first question is, what is the name of the service under attack? So when it says service, it's either going to be TCP or UDPs. And here we can find that out. So here. And again, we have 21,000 packets. So if we scroll up, let's look. And what we're going to be looking for is here. So this is pretty much the IP address. And then this is like the source where it's coming from. So it's coming from, and then this is the port. So 80 is obviously HTTP, and that's TCP. And so far we see a few of them, 80. So let's keep looking. 80, some more 80, more 80, a lot of 80s I see here. Some don't even have they have like a 35972, which is not even ephemeral. We keep going, scroll up more. We see a lot of 80. I see 22 now, more 80s. Actually, now we see 22 a lot. So we see 22, 22, 22. And that is SSH. So it looks like the brute force is occurring on SSH. So he's trying to brute force into SSH service. So yeah, but I'm not satisfied. I'm not seeing enough to call it an anomaly. It's just not enough. So we're gonna have to keep looking. Yeah, okay, now I'm seeing a good amount of 22s. All right, so we're gonna say SSH for this. And what is a used protocol port in the attack? So it's, if we go back here, I can see it's TCP. It has the time to live. It has the acknowledgement, the sequence, all this good stuff that we can also help in understanding what's going on. So, but we are seeing 22 a lot. So that is an anomaly when we see that many 22. So it's going to be, what is the use protocol port in the attack? It's going to be TCP, and the port for SSH is port 22. So now that we have that, I can go back here and pretty much now create the snort rule. So in order to do that, I'm gonna do sudo nano, and we're gonna go to the snort configuration, snort. etc, and snort rules, snort. Local rules. That's how this particular machine is set up. So we'll go to local rules, and then here, I actually create the rule. So in order to create the rule, I'm just going to use this to the man pages section to just specify certain things. Actually, yeah, I'm not going to need it here just yet, but I will. So we're going to drop TCP from any IP address that is using port number 22. And then we can do inbound and outbound, but I'm just going to do, just for not confusing myself, I'm just going to do regular from here, and then from any IP address on any port, and we'll specify the message to say, let's see, SSH brute force found, just so we know, brute force. Send me SID. SID is going to be, we can make it 1. as long as it's over this number, it has to be over 100,000, 100,001. And then we can put the rev. We'll just make it 1. We'll close that out. And I just want to make sure I have the correct setup for this snort rule. Snort rules dropping. Let's see. It's only SID. Right. Any GCP. And we're specifying 22. Any SID. Got that. It's gonna be add 0. Right. And then so we're gonna write out. Save that. And we'll exit. So now that we've created the rule, we have to now go ahead and stop the attack. So the rule is created. The rule is now created. And we've created the rule to drop. So now we go to sudo. Sudo snort -c. That specifies the configuration file, which is ec snort snort.c on configuration -q for quiet. And then we'll do DAF, and that basically is for DAF is for packet. It specifies it's going to be a packet, and then DAQ specifies it's a packet. So right here is a PCAP, packet capture. This is the packet acquisition module, and then do AF packet. And then right here, we'll do -I, and that'll basically specify the interface, which is going to be Ethernet 0. And then we'll do -A, and just full. So let me make sure I got everything. So sudo snort -C configuration, C snort snort.conf -Q -DAQ for the packet acquisition, and AF packet -I for interface, so Ethernet 0, and then we'll run it. And then after we run it, we see that we have successfully stopped the attack. So after creating the rule, we then specified and just ran it and attacked and stopped the attack by running this specific part of the command, which is -A on the interface. So we then get on our desktop, the flag, and we can finish off. Copy and paste that here. And we were successfully able to prevent the attack. And that's a big deal because, like I said, they have a lot of important information on here. Same thing with any organization. They have a lot of confidential information, and it's important that it stays in the hands of those who need to have access and not from attackers. So this was a fun one where I just pretty much created the rule, snort rule, and it blocked the brute force attack. This is the IPS version of snort.